Alright, so our character rig now is pretty much complete. All that's left to do is to turn this rig into a complete asset so that we can give the asset to an artist. The artist can drop in an instance of our character and straight away begin animating our character. Now, turning something like this rig into a character asset is a fairly lengthy task. So we're actually going to break this down into a number of videos to keep each video as short as possible and focused on setting up the controls for a specific section of the rig. We're going to start out in this video simply by creating the asset itself, collapsing all our nodes, then setting a couple of settings on the existing parameters on our asset, and then we're going to specify certain nodes that are down inside our asset as editable nodes so that our scripts that are working with editable nodes will be able to run without causing permission errors. So with that, let's grab everything that is in our network. So I'm going to push Control A, and that's going to grab all of our nodes. I'm going to Shift C to collapse these down into a subnet. We just wait a second for that to collapse. Fantastic. I'm going to rename this subnet to Goblin Character. So we have our subnet that's now been renamed to Goblin Character. If I right click and create a digital asset, I'm going to create a Goblin Character digital asset, which I'm going to save in its own OTL file. So let's jump into our OTLs folder and create a goblin.otl. So goblin.otl and accept that, and just give that a second to create our asset. Now we have a few issues, a few errors that pop up. These are on our fetch objects due to the fact that the expressions that are on the fetch objects actually evaluate as absolute paths. That's fine because we know that they're being driven by expressions, so it's not going to create any issues. We will jump down and make sure that the fetch objects that are directly beneath us are still working now that they're down inside an asset, but I am strongly believing that they are, and I know that the ones that are down inside our super risk control indeed are functioning correctly. So we can OK past that. And you notice we didn't get any errors coming up about our chops or references to /obj on the chops because we made sure that we went through and cleaned all of those up. So whilst we're here on the asset, if we take our transform tab and we make that invisible, not only will that hide the transform parameters from the animator who's dropping our asset into the scene, it's also going to mean that they can't actually transform our asset around, and that's a very good thing. We want them to move our character around based on the controls we're providing and not by moving our asset as a whole. We'll also hide the subnet tab as well. So both of these, which have to be existent on an object, we can make them invisible so that the artist can't work with them. If we accept that, and again OK past that warning that pops up, you can see that indeed if we grab our Goblin Character, even though we haven't locked those transformation parameters, we cannot work with the transformation parameters and move our character around, which is exactly what we don't want an artist to do. I'm going to jump down inside and I'm going to find our fetch that we're using on our arms. If I just turn off our node names with N, I'm hunting for purple node. There we go. And indeed, we still have the correct reference on our fetch object, so that's working fantastically. So we can jump back up to the object level. Just give Houdini a second to think about that. Bring back up our type properties. The only other thing I want to do in this video is specify our editable nodes. As we did back in character rigging 1 on our super risk control, we have some nodes that we need to specify now that need to be editable inside this asset. Now the great thing is, all of those nodes that are editable, that are inside our super risk control, they don't need to be specified now because they're inside our super risk control. The super risk control takes care of allowing them to be edited or not, and our asset doesn't need to allow for them to be edited. It's only the nodes that are inside our asset directly that are editable that need to be specified here. So that's going to be both of our head control editable nodes, both of our shoulder control editable nodes, and also those for our eyes. So I'm going to specify our head control underscore shoulder control parent underscore editable space head control underscore master control parent underscore editable. We want to specify our shoulder control underscore hip control parent underscore editable. Our shoulder control underscore master control parent underscore editable. Our eyes control underscore head, I believe we spelt that control, I will check these in a second, parent underscore editable. And finally our eyes control underscore master control parent underscore editable. If we accept that and OK past that warning, jump inside our character and let's take a look to make sure that indeed those controls were named in that way. So we have our shoulder control underscore hip control, shoulder control underscore master, fantastic. We have our head control underscore shoulder control, head control underscore master control. Of course we know that we have the editable tacked onto the end, but we did indeed name those in the exact same way. Let's just double check again with our shoulder, better to be safe than sorry. So indeed, shoulder control underscore hip control parent underscore editable, and the same for our master control. And I believe with our eyes we did actually say eyes control underscore head, yes, CTRL parent underscore editable, and the same on our master control parent as well. So they're the editable nodes that needed to be specified for our asset to function correctly. And I'm actually going to conclude this video here, and we'll continue building our asset over the next series of videos. So with that, that's going to wrap this video. Thanks a lot, everyone.